Here's how you get ahead of 99% of people in 6 to 12 months. Become brutally aware of two things. The first is what you don't want. The second is where you will end up if you keep doing the same things in life. Observe the masses and see where mindless action leads. It's not pretty at all, by any means. When you do this, when you observe the masses, sit with your thoughts, think them through. Don't just close your mind off and take what you see on the surface and accept it as reality. That's not how this works. That closed-minded surface level living is what got you into this situation in the first place. You need to think deeper. It's easier to know what you don't want from experience and observation than it is to know what you want from imagination and just thinking and having all of these grand ideas for your future. And don't get me wrong here, I'm not writing those things off. Those things are good. They are not bad. Do not label any of what I'm saying as good or bad. Test it through your direct experience. Many of you know that I'm very big on creating a vision for your future, but the best way to do that is by also creating an anti-vision, having a negative thing, something that you despise, something that will get you angry, because negative energy is very, very potent. It can be used and transmuted to actually achieve what you want in life. It's like when you're going to the gym, I'll be walking on the treadmill as a warm-up and I'll just think of what my life would be without the gym. Where could I end up if I don't put my all into that workout? And somehow I just get very, very pissed, and I can feel that energy. I'm not being pissed isn't bad. Negative emotions aren't bad. They exist. They are what they are, and they should be used, not suppressed, but used for good. So to create your anti-vision, sit down with a notebook, become a mad scientist, draw out everything. Sit with a notebook for 30 minutes and just draw out everything, your entire future, but start with the anti-vision. Write down every single thing that you do not want in this life. What do you not want to look like? What do you not want your future to be? What do you not want your day to look like on an everyday basis? And from that, it will be much clearer to you what your vision will actually be, because it's just the opposite of those things. And so when you look at your anti-vision after creating it, or as you're writing it, you should feel uncomfortable. You should feel very uncomfortable with the possibility of where you could end up in life if you do not take control of your life. And so with that discomfort, you should laser in on one big goal, laser in on your vision for the future. And this should be meaningful, because your anti-vision is usually meaningless. It comes from mindless action. It comes from not doing anything and letting entropy take hold and just drag your life into chaos. That's what entropy does. That is the supreme law of the universe. If you do not create order for your life, you will decline into chaos. So in that same notebook, with that vision for your future and your anti-vision, plan out, be the mad scientist that is going to work on the project of your life. Create a plan, create a strategy for exactly what you are going to do on a day-to-day basis, week by week, every single thing you're going to do for the next week, and write it out. Get extremely specific. Create the order so you do not be a victim of entropy. Next, disappear. And whenever I say disappear, like disappear for 6 months, people take it literally. Almost much of what I say is metaphorical and exaggerated to get the essence of the message across. I'm not saying disappear like your physical body is just going to disappear. I'm saying disappear from the things that don't belong in your life. Cut them out. This can be people, games, apps, or even bad habits. Just become aware of the things that are holding you back. And there are multiple ways to do this, but with the process that we've discussed and what's worked best for me is to just rip the band-aid off. Get rid of them all. You don't need to explain yourself here to other people that are going to be messaging you, hey bro, where'd you go? Just disappear. In other words, break your addiction with feeling like shit, because that feeling like shit has one cause, and that is, well, it has multiple causes, but we're talking about mental here, not physical, which would be attributed to something like nutrition or food, but mental energy that you are expending on people and things that don't give a fuck about you, and direct that mental energy that you now have into your vision for the future, because you have created a system that will prevent entropy in your life, the thing that will take you from anti-vision to vision, the system there. And to maintain a system to prevent entropy, you need energy. In this case, mental energy to actualize or manifest that vision, if you want to call it that. Last, make a habit of the boring fundamentals, but realize that the boring fundamentals are not boring, because most successful people, they take the same repetitive actions on a day-to-day basis. In a game, in like a game that mimics the real world, you are logging on and you are repeating the same thing over and over to slowly level up over time, right? You're killing monsters, you're going through dungeons, you're doing the same thing to stack experience. So you need to transfer that into the real world and move the levers that will actually take you towards your goals. These are fundamentals, these are principles, these aren't tactics. And so understand that these are not boring. They seem boring on the surface when you look at someone else doing it day in, day out. Like, oh, this guy Dan, he writes for 30 minutes every morning. Oh, that seems so boring. But it's mastery over misery. It's like how sushi chefs, they take years to perfect the preparation of rice. And it comes in stages. Like a tennis player, you first learn how to hold the racket. And there is a very specific way to do that well. And then you move up to the next stage, which is how do you angle the racket? How do you hit the ball? And you have to practice these things over and over and over again, like how you were learning to walk, until it becomes effortless or unconscious. So you open up more mental energy to move on to the next thing that will take you ahead of the people that are trying to just get a result that would usually take 10 years to get in 2 weeks. That's just not going to happen. And so the question that everyone asks, like when you start something new, is, okay, when will I see this result? Like a tennis player, when will I be able to compete? And stop asking that question, because you're going to get an answer that you don't want to hear, and it's going to throw you off track. It takes years. It takes an entire lifetime of trial and error to create a project. As I said, become a mad scientist. The essence of science is trial and error. So to perfect a project, your life that you are building out, it is going to take a lifetime. Get comfortable with that thought. So this entire process that we just went over of realizing what you don't want, creating a strategy and launching yourself into the opposite direction, and prioritizing long-term success and mastery is the origin story. You will hear this in every origin story of a successful person. So flip the switch inside of you. New Year's is coming up. Flip the switch inside of you and build a foundation that will carry you into the life you want. So first off, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. This is a much shorter video than I normally do. Many of you know that. I'm saving the longer, I have a lot of good videos coming, the long in-depth ones coming next week. I just didn't want to post it around Christmas because I want to give those videos the, hopefully, attention it deserves. So first, let me know if you like these shorter videos, because I can work in one of these every single week along with the in-depth videos. And if you guys like them, I'll keep them coming. And so with that, leave a comment, let me know, like, subscribe while you're there. Links in the description for skill acquisition courses and other things like that. Just check them out and enjoy the rest of your day, my friends.